Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Here we are, looking at the world at the end of a season. So, what I mean by that is the ranked season's over. We pretty much got to, I think it was plat with our red deck, which isn't bad considering we didn't put a lot of time and effort into it. We spent most of our time acquiring new cards, which is what you're supposed to do when you're brand new. Otherwise, you can't expect to climb. You don't always have the right kind of cards for it. We still have most of those rares and mythics that we get. Uh, but we also have some common and uncommon, so we can develop a deck. But at this point right now, I don't know if we're desperate to do that. Season's starting to wind down. There's only not season, I'm sorry, Mastery Pass is starting to wind down, and new cards show up in just a week or two. And so I do think these are going to become super important here as we get into the new commons, or the new set, because there'll be new cards that are really meta or really important that we're going to want to grab. And this just kind of opens the doors to doing that without having to spend any money or resources. So that's what we do. So yeah, we got knocked back down. We have to play a game. Um, and then we get we're in gold 4, so we don't have to grind all the way through all the other stuff. But we were able to receive some packs for our efforts, and we got 4 packs, which I haven't opened yet, and then we got 2 card styles, which I did unfortunately because when I logged in, it just gave it to me. But the card styles are ossification and the dragon glider wings. Those are the 2 things that we received. So okay. They also gave us 2,000 gold, which is good. And we have some packs to open. So let's open some packs and see what we get. And we're acquiring. Oh, this looks frosty, doesn't it? This card looks like beat to all get up. I don't remember them looking like that. First, Experimental Augury. Cool. Nice wild card in the uncommon category. We're up to 28-28. And a Glissa Sunslayer. Like, one of the best. My other account, I'm at 90, maybe 94% of the entire set completely done with 4 cards. I only have 2 copies of Glissa. So I think this account might have 2 or 3 already. Pretty crazy. Anyway, that's an excellent pull and really, really powerful card. Super fun to use. Whispers of the Dross, another wild card. Our first Thrumming Bird, where that blue black Demir deck has an opportunity. And kind of, it's just really expensive. There are a lot of ways to take control for 1 turn of another creature that are cheaper than this. So I think it might hold some kind of value in the limited format, but I'm not so sure about it out here. And a Catholic. I've never really enjoyed this card. I don't understand. At the beginning of your end step, you can sacrifice another creature, and if you do, you get to reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card with lesser mana value. Then you put that onto the battlefield, and the rest onto the bottom of your library. So I guess if you had like an enter the battlefield effect that you enjoyed, and that's where the majority of the mana was worth, like being spent, then Kethic could make a lot of sense. But it seems strange to me. Except, yeah, no, it just seems strange to me because if you're like getting rid of, tiny little things like tokens, they don't have a mana value, and so you don't end up being able to pull anything back out, and you have to replace it if you want some value out of this. So I'm confused. I'm really confused. We need like 3. We need 3 mana things that we're fine sacrificing. That is not an easy. That's not an easy pull. All right. There's that scheming aspirant that goes really well with the thrumming bird that we picked up over there. This prologue to Pharesis is another card that goes really, really well with that deck that just sort of um, gifts out poison instead of having to strike people to get it. So both really good cards. And a Conduit of Worlds, a unique card. You get to play lands from your graveyard. Choose a target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. And if you haven't cast a spell this turn, you can cast that card. And if you do, you can't cast additional spells this turn. But you have to activate it only as a sorcery. So you're going to want a lot of value out of that card that you're pulling from your graveyard. So this is like a recursion back from your graveyard kind of thing. You'll always be able to play the lands out of it, but you'll want to have a lot of things in the graveyard, and the thing that you're going to want to pull out is going to want to be something pretty good. Could be a creature, though. I don't know. I kind of dig it. I see I see the value there, especially if you can do another like recursion piece. Charforger seems to go well with the rare that we picked up. When it enters the battlefield, you get to create a 1/1 Phyrexian creature, and whenever another creature artifact you control is put into the graveyard, you get to put an oil counter on this guy. Remove 3 of them, exit the top card, you get to play that card. So yeah, it's kind of like a once every 3 turns get a chance to um, once every 3 turns get a chance to like draw a card off the top of your deck and play. Excellent. Jace is just mostly because he can come in with 3 mana and immediately start to control the board. So a turn 3 Jace is hard for the opponent to deal with, especially if we have a turn 2 creature that's allowing us to create some protection. Turn 1 and turn 2 may both exist, but because he's controlling 1 at -3, and the other one's being blocked by your guy, that's your controller 2, he can stick around. I like his minus abilities sometimes. It would go good with the recursion thing that we were just talking about. So I'm very happy. So um, we have opened up our packs and we got a mythic rare card, a Planeswalker, which is just awesome. 2 cards that we're not quite sure how to use in the Conduit of the Worlds and the maybe not the Charforger, whatever it's called, the Kefik. And then we had another really excellent rare card, the Glissa, right off the bat. So let's go take a look and see if there's a deck that already exists for Glissa, right? And that would be this blue-green cemetery-like deck is a good option. Grave Matters is the pre-made deck, so I don't think that's going to get there. And here's a Rotten Priest one, too. So these two right next to each other. Start with the Cemetery Geist. And just to remind us, we do have, this is our 3rd Glissa. Actually, we've already got 2 copies in here, so it doesn't seem like there's any reason not to put a 4th. Yeah, we could drop this Infestation Expert and go up on the Glissa. Less mana, better value for sure. Do we have any extra Gloom Shriekers? We do. We have a lot. We have all of them. Get out of here, you. When it enters the battlefield, you get to return a target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. And if it would die, he's gone for good. So, I think that that's an important part of when one or more cards leaves the graveyard. Yeah, so the Gloom Shriekers and the Willow Geist pump each other. That's pretty solid. I think we're going that way for sure. Putting things in, taking things out. Yeah, I can live without that. What's our count? 2.5. Only 20 lands? Wow. Wow. This is not the kind of hand I would have thought. Would have been a 20 card hand. I think we get rid of these Vats of Rebirths and we go back up on the land. We need enough land to hold. Okay. So that deck got better. 3 Glissas. It's always good to know. And this deck is not really about damage. So we're going to stay without Glissa in this one. Didn't pick up any of those. We do have more safekeepings, which is good. I think I would just do that. We need some spells to protect the Rot Priest, but we don't need kind of spells to go the full distance because we've got the other Rot Priest to pick it up at the end of the game. Sneaky Proliferates, sneaky hasty creatures, flying over the top, dropping in on them. We do have some nice removal here, but I'd rather have the Drowning Ichor. Yeah, I think so. I think I take the Drowning Ichor even over the Whispers. Might be overkill, but it's kind of worth it. We do have all 4 of those, too. I think that hand. I think this is not ideal, but I think it wins. I don't think that there's enough removal down here that I think it can kind of hold its own and get the toxic across the line. And then I think that these things are big enough on the back end that it's hard to imagine that it doesn't have the capability of winning. What's our daily thing look like? White or green spells? We'll just say okay. White or blue spells, that didn't go in the direction we wanted it to. We already have 2,000 gold, so let's just do the jump in, and if we end up with some white and blue options, um, we'll feel pretty good. Other thing that happened, just to take a look, we did get another cut down, so we should probably consider adding that to it. We got a Raven Man, which is a card discard kind of thing. When you discard a card, you get to make a little birdie. It can go really good in sacrifice decks, but the draw discard fits nice with the blood tokens because the blood tokens cause you to do that as well. We did get a virus beetle, which is cool. I'm looking for my other rare. Oh, it's this. It's Ashnod. Yeah, yeah. When it attacks, you can sacrifice another creature, and if you do, you create a tapped Power Stone. So I guess if you're looking at like an artifact deck with black, which is pretty rare, that can pay off. But yeah, I feel like she's the one of the bigger scams. All right, Triskaidekaphile and double team means training is the savior of Olimbark. I'm starting to get familiar with like what these packs yield. This is the rare card that we'll get is the one where you have to have 13 cards exactly in your hand and then you win the game. There's not a lot of decks that we could do to make that happen, but there are decks where you can build everything around a certain amount of card draw. You just put Mind Splice apparatuses in there to make some of those card draw spells like insane, where you can draw like 15, 16 cards and then you can just time it all out. So double team is a weird feature that you just don't see played because it's just way too complicated. You always got to attack with two, and then when you do, something else, something happens. But this one training is definitely positive. Anything with training gets a +1/+1 counter on it when it attacks with something that's bigger than it. And so by adding that feature to a bunch of our cards, we should start to be able to look at things like proliferate. And there are a lot of removal spells that proliferate. There are a lot of enter the battlefields in black that proliferate. So you can make a training proliferating Orzhov kind of combo between white and black, and it's pretty cool actually. It works out really neat because all these guys that don't look like that big of threats, become threats very, very quickly. So I'm a fan. The Savior of Olimbark also is a training mythic card I think that we can get out of this. Um, don't be fooled by the mythic. It's kind of dirtily, like it's slow, but it's amazingly powerful when it's not. Okay, double team is what they want to give us, but I'm just not feeling it. I don't know prototype or bewitching off the top of my head. So let's take a look and see. If we are staring down the barrel of bewitching, it is the Sun Gold Sentinel. The Sun Gold Sentinel says whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to one card from a graveyard. Okay. And then you can choose a color for one mana, or one random mana and one white mana, and it can gain hexproof from that color until the end of the turn, and it can't be blocked by creatures of that color. But you activate it only if you have 3 or more creatures with different powers. Can't. No, no, no. I'm sure there's a way to make it amazing. I just don't know it. Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia, or the Root Worm, the Root Wire Amel. I'm not going to say that word. Let's go check out the Gwenna. I don't know if we've got any, and that would be great. It'd be a great grab if we don't. I feel like they give us 1 or 2 though in the green deck. They give us 2. Yeah, let's do it. We're going with prototype. Choose packs. We'll do the prototype. We'll get the Gwenna, most likely. Yep. And we got the Savior of Olimbark, just like we thought. mythic card has training. Whenever it trains, so whenever it attacks, it exiles up to one other target creature from the battlefield or graveyard. Then when it leaves the battlefield, you get to put the exiled cards onto the battlefield under their owner's control. So there is a fun trick that you can do with these guys. See how they have a prototype and then a regular version? You can exile one of your own creatures with the prototype getting sucked up. And then when it comes back after Savior of Olimbark dies, they come back as the full creature. So he can, depending on what your board looks like, you can survive for 1 or 2 turns while you cast these little prototypes, and then you can use a removal spell on your own creature, and then boom, out comes the Goliath at 10/10, as opposed, that saves you 5 mana, and it's pretty hard to remove a 10/10, but especially if it shows up along with these other guys at the same time. So you can get your health really, really low, and don't worry, it's coming back and giving you six health. You've got a 10/10 as a blocker. You got a thing that gifts out 4/6. Like, oof, oof, game over. You might need to use some of these guys' gifts, to do some tricks to survive. But man, there's not a lot of proliferate. When it enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1 and vigilance until the end of the turn. That's cool. Sends everything into the air for 2 mana. That's great. I don't know why I'm not using that card right now. That's pretty cool. Okay, we're just gonna play it. I don't feel bad about the 2 rares that we got. What the heck? Oh, whoa. All new things to click. What? I'm so confused. Alright. It won't do anything, but it's fun. That's so cool. You can change the music. So this is supposed to be like playing cards at school. He's got the Mox. Not gonna lie, it's not going well. Let's see what you do now. We're not taking a ton of damage, but it's a pain in the butt. Seems like a bigger problem, even though it's one less damage. So it's either whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, you put a +1 counter on this creature. Unfortunately, the Iron Claw doesn't have the more power, and so we will need to throw the Paladin out just in order to keep the training alive on the creature here. I love the soul rings. It's so cool. Are we really getting roped? Yeah, I knew that they had done different things. They brought back the worn look on the cards. This is all brand new. Poor pizza. Oh, you can eat the pepperonis! We are getting roped, which is just like a shame. Because it's not that exciting. But I'm excited about all this stupid stuff. So weird. Oh, cool. Okay, so if I do this, just as an example. Right? Yeah, we're just getting roped. The next time we attack, we take out the spore pack. I find it odd that people do this still. But especially find it odd that somebody doing jump-ins is so bitter about losing a jump-in game that they choose to do this instead. What happens if I give it to you? Yeah, it didn't work. It has to be bigger at the beginning. Dude, the pepperonis never came back. So this is that, what is it, the Kami of Transience, the thing that can pull cards out of exile. And then treasures, you know, supplies. There's the samurai right here. I don't know about the aliens. I haven't seen a card with the aliens. But a cat with a sword looks incredible. With some Phyrexia writing around it. Teferi was here. It's good. I guess this is our little pup that gives us a card when it comes in. So that was mean to get roped into one of these things, but that's okay. We get our win. We're happy. We didn't get a chance to play that many cards, but we did get a mythic card. You ready? I can tell it's mythic because when I start to touch it, it flashes red. And then boom. Alchemy card. Not an alchemy card. Don't know why they give us the bonus alchemy cover, except to say that, okay, if you're playing alchemy, you can put more of these creatures in there. I think it's a way to kind of get you to go towards it, towards alchemy, because nobody likes to play alchemy. It's kind of unfun. Spells can't be countered, and then each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard immediately has flashback equal to its mana cost. It can be a really fun card if you are playing a lot of cards into your graveyard, which if you've got something like Jace, you could do. You could definitely do. So, a lot of reasons to say, like, cool. We're not going to make a deck around the 2 cards we got yet. Although maybe let's take a look and see. So, Mossy Enchantments doesn't really have that kind of like, oh, ramping style to it, but we have two Gwenas in there anyway. So maybe it's not a bad idea to consider dropping a Harmonious Emergence and turning it into another Gwenna as a way to ramp into some of these bigger things very quickly. Yeah, I kind of dig that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a 4 or 5 land. For 4, that's really pretty good. And the enchantment does other enchantment triggers. I'll tell you what. Let's bring that thing back. Right. I think it was this. There's the Geothermal Kami. When it enters the battlefield, you may return an enchantment you control to its owner's hands. And if you do, you gain 3 life. I do believe that that's how you're able to get cards back out of the graveyard pretty easy. And so we should consider this Geothermal Kami as a great card to consider in our, what's it called, deck. The Graveyard Matters one, where the guy gets something for every time something comes out of the graveyard. This also, Colossal Sky Turtle. I didn't realize we had 4 copies of this. It's an enchantment creature. You have 2 channel options that you do. The first one says you have to discard this card, and then you get to return a target card from your graveyard to your hand. And then the other one says you can discard this card and return a target creature to its owner's hand. So I think there's a way to say I'm going to discard, see, like these two? It's a 6/5 with Ward, but also has a 2 mana and a 3 mana channel ability that can get utilized with the Geothermal Kami to kind of bounce back and forth, right, between what's going on here. So pretty cool stuff. Hard to say no to that. Unfortunately, not an enchantment creature. Um, this is a spirit. You may reveal a creature or enchantment card from among them and put it into your hand. So it's another way to draw cards out as well. Can go kind of hand in hand with the Geothermal Kami, the Colossal Sky Turtle. There's a lot of enchantments that mess around with the graveyard that I didn't realize, how much synergy was built into that. Wish I had some more generous visitors, so if we see another enchantment, we should consider that. And we've got some Shigeki stuff, some removal pieces. We definitely have some bigger bodies that make the removal pieces very potent. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this one creates another, these two create 2 more as well, so 9, 10. And I do think that with these kinds of creatures right here, we should look at getting out of this and getting into the Piper. The room. Yeah. Okay. This is just better. Better at getting the big guys out. So we can ramp up to them. We can get them out. We're not just living in the small ball world. White or blue spells. Yeah. I don't really feel like building a new white-blue deck. I don't think Azorius is something that we've really been getting a lot of cards towards. We could check it out. But let's do this one more time. Oh, 2 new ones. Graveyard is going to be interesting, considering we were just talking about doing some graveyard shenanigans. The Aven Heartstabber is a blue-black rare card. It's a 1/1, but as long as there are 5 or more mana value among cards in your graveyard, it gets +2/+2 and has Death Touch. So a 2 mana flying 3/3 with Death Touch. When it dies, you get to mill 2 cards, then draw a card. That's pretty solid. Humans. Catilda, Dawnheart Prime. They gave us one of these. Human creatures you control turn into mana dorks. You can also, for 6 mana, put a +1 counter on each creature that you control. Tauren's Fist of Angels is the other one that they give you. And it has training, and then you get to create a white, a 1/1 that also has training. I really like Tauren's, actually. Hmm. I think we take Ava's Heartstabber. We already have a decent enough human synergy, and we already have 2 copies of all that stuff. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense to go get more. For science, we have the new set, and it is the Unctus Grand Metatech, which I think is great, or a Jace the Perfected Mind, which we just picked up one. Both are solid. Urza's middle pack here is going to be the Command, which creates like a Power Stone and a Golem. And, the other ones say like creatures you don't control get -2, or you can scry and then draw a card. Really not great. Not the best value engine in the deck. And then Resurrected. That's actually interesting. Gix's Command or the Praetor. And I do believe we've got a few copies of both, and we'd really like both of those. I'm going to pick the Retrofitter, though. We were just talking about blue-white being on the docket, and we don't have as many of these cards as I'd like to be able to make the artifact synergized blue-white deck that I think is actually a really pretty good deck. So we're going to go with Science in hopes of getting the Metatech or the Jace. We got the Jace! Who's got the Jace? Who's got the Jace? That's 2 Jaces in like 1 hour. That's pretty impressive. Cool. Okay, so we're definitely building a blue-white deck. We got the Retrofitter, which was kind of the marquee card, and we got the Aven Heartstabber, which was the only card that we could have got out of that pack. So, feeling pretty good about it. I don't have this card. When it enters the battlefield, when it dies, target a creature an opponent gets that. Where this is power. So it's a Conniver. So it's essentially like a 2/2 that throws a 2 bomb, like a 2 mana fireball, unless you can get those to go up bigger. Unfortunately, there is some proliferate here. Okay, I was going to say I don't see any proliferations. All these connives, though, work really nice with proliferation. This is so cool. We should be able to put a lot of things into the graveyard very quickly. And so that means that even Heartstabbers and Snooping Newsies can get their +2/+2 with Death Touch or +1/+1 in Lifelink. We should be able to activate those pretty quick because of the Jace. So feeling pretty solid about that. As long as there are 5 or more mana, this one gets +2/+2. We should be able to do something along that lines too. When it dies, it replaces itself with a 2/2 Rogue. Cool beans. And you can blitz it to guarantee that it's going to die, but give it haste essentially for 1 attack, and then can't be blocked as long as there's a bunch of things in the graveyard. Doesn't cost you that much; just costs you one blue mana. So we're going to make some things go in the graveyard, and then we're going to activate all these graveyard cards in order to make them our win con. On the secondary side of things, we're going to utilize Malcator's Watch and the Retrofitter together in order to create a 4/4 flyer on a very, very low curve. We're going to use the Proliferate with these conniving creatures to pump them up and make them go up 1. Don't expect a lot out of Escaped Experiment. It's going to be a chump blocker. And Chrome Prowler, we're going to utilize the Flash ability to sucker them into making an attack and then losing something they weren't expecting on losing. This is also a much more solid card than I ever gave it credit for. Essentially, when another artifact enters the battlefield, you get to draw and discard. Drawing and discard is a really neat function in the blue decks because there are a lot of cards that say when you draw your second card a turn, it gets a +1/+1. Thinking like fairies and stuff like that. Fairy Vandals would be a good example. So Transplant Theorist with Fairy Vandals, good. Unctus Retrofitter with Fairy Vandals. No, I'm sorry. Unctus Metatech is the one. The Metatech is the one that's like, whoa, so good. This is probably our worst card in the entire deck. And if you've only got, 2 bad cards, and then everything else has some pretty decent answers here. Um, Pretty good. This is not extremely powerful. You play it for 3, it does nothing. You play 2 more, you get to draw a card. Then you play 1 more, and it taps something on the way back. It's just a mana sink for a late game in a stalled deck in order to create some card advantage. That's what it is, and that's all it is. So a lot of things have to be right. I dig the sound, man. I dig the really full, far away with the VHS stuff. I kind of love this. This is cool. We have a 2-drop and we have a 1-drop. So normally I would say no chance, but we can even clean one of those if we need to in order to play something like the Extract the Truth later. So we're going to go with our 1-drop. 1-drop, 2-drop Prophetic Prism strategy. Yeah. Yeah. It should be able to connive on the next turn. Even if we lose something like the Escaped Experiment, I'm okay with that. It's just going to be a -1. Or it should be a -2 on their damage. So I think it's worth it. So we'll lose the Escaped Experiment, but the Hypnotic Grifter will go up to a +2. It's probably not worth it, unfortunately. It's a very interesting turn. This is much better. Okay. Let's go with... I think we throw the artifact creature out in order to get the minus... Well, no, we're already at -2. That's fine. Right? Yeah. Yeah, we just say next to combat. I'll go into that. You should connive. Oh, you have to spend money to connive. I thought... Ew, I don't want to spend money on him. Let's Extract the Truth and Malcator's Watch. What do you think? Alright. You're scary. Yeah, no. That's better. Alright, so we're handing out a -3 to something. Could be handing out a -4 to something. Wow, that's just weird. I would much rather have put a card on the deck, but I get it. You want to get the most amount of value out of something. I'm not blocking that. Do I blitz him? Nah. I need the body. Doesn't matter, really. We're going to get rid of their Vorak right now. I thought about throwing the Girder Goons, and that would have stopped them from attacking with anything but the Tainted Observer. But I would much rather sneak attack the Chrome Prowler Kitty into getting rid of one of these 3/3s, especially now that they're going to start stacking up, right? So we're going to need to do something shenanigan-y here. We can tap you. And then we can block the Vorak. You don't have the mana to do that. Mill 2 cards and then return a creature card from your graveyard. Like that. Right there. Not bad. But I think I'd rather put the 4/4 body out at this point. I mean, we need to get rid of the 3/3. There's not much we can do otherwise. So I think that's what we're going to do here. We drop the big guy. We're going to connive with their Grifter on the next turn, I think. We might as well just attack with this. It's got Vigilance anyway. There's no blocker. Okay, so we're swinging with everything on the next turn. We've got to... Well, shoot. That might change my mind. I think we're not swinging with everything. We need the blockers. If I throw the tome down, it's going to have Summoning Sickness, so I won't be able to do anything with it, I think, off the bat. But I'll still have that instant card, so let's just do that. Right? And then we'll go next to combat. We're going to attack with both of those. I think I do it this way. I accept the fact that there'll be a double block. I'll dig up the body on the 4/4 guy. He'll make a 2/2 blocker on the backslide, right? Why did I cancel? No. What is this? What does the casualty do? Huh. Yeah, no, I just have the one. I'm fine with that. Huh. A 3... Oh, yeah. We gotta take this guy. I'm going to sacrifice the Malcator's Watch against the Tainted Observer now. I might have to use something like the Hypnotic Grift to block the 3/3 from getting in, but we have to put a stop to the damage, otherwise we're in trouble. Yeah. Do we want to get rid of it? Yeah, I think we have to, right? I know. Oh, that's bad. We needed a body there. I think we just go next. Let me see, no attack and end. Would have been nice to have gotten a better draw than 2 lands in a row. We have not put much in their graveyard. 2 cards. On our side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's probably game. We'll just take a game. Because we can't stop enough. We can stop this once and then this, but we don't have the recover kind of capability, and I don't think that he's going to do anything more than what he's doing, which is just proliferating and creating another one, and proliferating and creating another one. So it's just an endless well of 3/3s that will eventually beat us down. It happens. It happens. You find yourselves in those strange positions where they have like never-ending amounts of value coming out of their cards. Okay, it's a keep. Not an exciting keep, but there is a hand here, at least. Not an enchantment, unfortunately. It's okay. I think we go with Grifter here. It's a better blocker for the Allenbark Escort. Allenbark, when it comes in, or when it dies, it can hand off its 1/1. Yeah, no. No, you definitely have a trick. Like, there's no chance. No. You have all the cards from the beginning hand. Like, what am I doing here? Let's see what they got. Okay, somehow they ended up being in mono white, which is cool. And they've got this 2/1 flyer, which we've already experienced is a bit annoying. So if we get rid of that, keep it from becoming a 3/2 flyer, I feel pretty solid about that. I have no problems attacking because I know that this is what I'm going to get rid of, and I'd much rather get rid of this. Yeah. Much rather get rid of it like that than have to deal with it later. So giving up a 2-mana creature is like no big deal. A 3/1. We could do the goons somehow. Oh, the blitz cost on the goons. I was like, how did that happen? But now I understand. No, I think we just double spell this. Right? Now we have 2 artifacts. When we attack in, we're taking away 2 power from something. So Escaped Experiment could trade with the Allenbark Escort if this guy gets laid out, but he's not going to get laid out just yet. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah. Loving it. Yeah, I know. He gets the extras. Yeah, I know how this works. The reason why it's perfect is because of this. Have a 4/4. got enough for this. Yeah, no. Unfortunately. I mean, if I'm gonna throw up a blocker anyway. I'm going to get rid of something, and I think I'd actually get rid of the Outrider if they attack. But I can take the trade here too. We're going to go for full power here. You say we +1. Do we want to mill and draw? He only has 27 cards. We just got to get to 9. Right? Very good. I think we just keep doing this until he gets through his cards. And 25. If I can do a sellout block here. If I do this, and I do this. Okay, so I think it is time for us to mill the heck out of our opponent. We'll be getting rid of 18 cards, but he still has 7 cards left, and there'll be 6 more after that. That's not good. That won't work. We need to throw some bodies. We need to block Audric with that. We just need to buy time. No. We need the body. Yeah. That sucked. He has definitely done a good job. Well, we were going to lose this anyway, right? We were going to lose all of these. Yeah, that's fine. We could have gotten rid of the shield basher. I think we lost. But man, was it fun. We're gonna lose. What's he at? 24? So we would be getting rid of 21, and we would somehow need to find a way to survive 3 more turns. How would we possibly survive 3 more turns? Like, I just don't see it. I should have been milling him, maybe? I don't know. It's crazy. Good game. I got close, but didn't get there. It was worth a try. Yeah, just some less really big scary guys. Didn't have any removal in the deck, so when things got out of hand with the flyer, there wasn't much I could do. And unfortunately, our deck was so slow. I mean, whoa, is that the slowest hand ever? There wasn't much that was possible, in my opinion. Okay, well, that's good. Okay, 2 drops galore. I think that's what it looks like. So slow land comes out first because we don't have a 1-drop. Fast land comes out second because we do have a 2. A slow land comes out third because the 3 doesn't really have a target that would make a lot of sense for us to do, right? So we throw this, we go this way, and then we all attack because he's going to -2 that guy. Yeah, that's how that works. And then we can double spell on our next one and start throwing out some low-level guys that at least have a possibility of getting stronger and can kind of continue to whittle. I wouldn't use it on the Hungry Ridge Wolf, but we'll see what comes out here next. It could be a 3/2 creature, which unfortunately is something that we would probably want to dose. I'd rather get the Grifter out, though, first. I like to put the land in between the turns too, as just a way to like kind of get a sense of like, okay, yeah, that's gonna work. That's not gonna work. Well, we are 1 step closer. Wasn't what I expected, but it happens. I can connive up to a 2/2 here, but that doesn't help me too much. I feel like this is better because I can still chump block with the Grifter and just continually add for the Aven Heartstabber there. Or I could connive, because none of these are they're very exciting. I could just have the Grifter Connive. Yeah, I think that's the right answer. Let's take the 2 damage. And extract the Truth and Connive. Yeah. Let's get rid of the Silencer. Extract the Truth. What are you, mono red? Jesus. So the guy's just got removal. Okay. It's fine. Let's take a look and see what comes our way. It's going to be a removal spell. I probably should have just attacked. He's just going to remove the Grifter with the burn spell. And then he can impulse to see if he can get 2 more cards for the next turn. Or he could throw the big guy out. This fireball thing is available to him. Just do 5 damage to something. Land. He had a land in his hand. He already played, so that's a big miss. Yep. What would you get rid of? Would you get rid of a jockey? Yeah, we'll probably just get rid of the plasma jockey, right? You can stay tapped. That's fine with me. Alright, game. No more land. Okay. I've drawn 3 cards that weren't land and 3 cards that were. So, it's not terrible, but no more. Yeah, we just don't have any offense in our deck. And when this kind of thing happens, like, there's nothing I can do. So, I mean, I'm down to 6 health, and I know that he's going to burn my Aven girl out. I never got anything that hit harder than 2, or had a. I mean, there was a 1 mana stat on every single creature that I got. This might be a tough one for us to get a win with, guys. Trying to think, like, so many things have to line up perfect, and they just haven't. We need the Heart Stabber at the end, not the beginning. We need the Unctus Retrofitter with the Malcator's Watch, never without the 2. We need, like, we got the Escaped Experiment every single turn, but this is not a good card. So, this is not the card you want every single turn. This also would have gone really, really good in our mill strategy with our Jace, but we didn't draw it. So, I mean, we're just on a really bad, like, our deck doesn't work unless it has all these pairs, and we haven't had any of these pairs, not once. But we have drawn endless amounts of land. Like, oh my god, over 60% chance of land. It's fine. What you gonna do? I'm going to hold on to my Malcator's Watch in hopes of drawing something besides a land. Well, now I have to block that. I get a card draw out of it. It's going to be another land. I was going to say. Interestingly enough, yeah, we probably want to dose the... If I throw the Transplant Theorist out, I can block him. Let's just do that. Definitely. You can still block it. He didn't last time. This one he can. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, I'll probably do the goons next. We need the body. And freezing the Rot Priest on the deck doesn't stop it from having the ability to do stuff like that. It doesn't stop it from gifting out the extra poison counters. So it's not as good of a target to actually dose with the Mesmerizing Dose. We are totally fine with this, by the way. We really didn't like that card in general. So, another 2-mana creature, most likely. Change music. Am I okay with that? I could extract the truth, but I don't think there's a reason to. I'd rather 4/4. And see no attacks. What's this one say? Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, you may draw a card and then discard. And you can put a target card from your graveyard to the bottom of your library. So you could get back something like the Malcator's Watch, but not excitingly. Okay, so if the Stalker attacks, we have to block it. I'd be fine with the Girder Goons getting traded out. Oh my god. That we dose. That we dose. Yes. Yeah. Let's draw and see. Oh yeah. Yeah, that worked out good. Bye-bye. I'm gonna say no on the attacks. I can't keep up with the damage that the toxic stuff would do. It's gonna be 3 toxic, and you lose the Stalker. It's not bad. Yeah. Oh, come on. Like, come on! How? Oh, we're dead. Good game. God! We actually had a good game going, but we're dead. That dude... I don't understand this. Like, how do you have the most perfect 3 cards in a row, and I can't even draw one threat that, like, could do anything? That sucks. Oh, I don't like playing with decks other people built me. They never have the playstyle that I want to deal with. I thought we did every move perfect. We maximumed the value out of everything we did, and it didn't matter because we just can't capture the kinds of stuff they do. The artifact synergies are strong here, so I guess we hold on to that since it's not really great until after. It's not really great until after there's stuff in the graveyard, and great is a strong word here. It needs 5 different mana value cards in there. That's a lot. Oh, seriously, like. There's nothing we can do against this stuff. It just keeps happening. We might be able to trick it with the Chrome Prowler. I didn't think about the fact that he might not have the enchantments to really make it valuable. How interesting. I'm not going to sit around in hopes to sneak attack one of those guys. So I'll see if I can't offer a trade with the Generous Visitor. That we're sneak attacking. The Malcator's watch gets hit by the Lanamore Green Widow, and that thing is just shutting down the skies. So what we're going to do is watch it attack. He thinks he's got a free attack, and at the best it would be a double block. But I think he'd be fine with that, like 2 for 1-ing it. I think. If that's what he wants to spend his mana, I'm okay with that, actually. I think we keep the kitty out. I don't want to lose the opportunity. It doesn't matter. Well, we know what he's going to do next turn, right? Okay. I think we are... all attacking? Fine with this. Stop with the land. keep the tome, most likely. Unless I can get like a Jace or... Yeah. An Unctus Retrofitter would be nice. I haven't seen that one yet in 3 games. Nope. Okay, we're going to throw Deal Gone Bad down on the next hand. We're still on defense, unfortunately. Surprisingly, we're not in trouble as far as health is concerned. I'm much less worried about that than the Green Widow. Okay. I think we have to get rid of this thing. Maybe we can pump up our Snoop-a-Newsy here. No? Got close. Didn't work. Yeah, I don't mind this. Although it was pretty cheap. Alright. So the theory would be we dose the Green Widow, we tap the Snare Spinner, and we attack. I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. Oh, it's like a mill. There's only one. Mm. He definitely has a much stronger deck than I do. Interesting. What would you want to get out of here? The heart stabber, right? Oh wait, look at that. The crocodile's in here too. Hmm. I kind of like that idea. We're going to do it twice. What would we get rid of? The grifter? Hmm. I think... we just get rid of the crocodile. I think we just do it. We take the crocodile out. Right. Unfortunately. Oh, or fortunately, we're good. And then we tap a creature and swing. Okay with that. And I don't like my attacks. Say no. He's gonna throw the bottle dude or whatever. He's gonna throw this. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature card from your graveyard, return it to the battlefield if its mana value is less than the number of basic land types you have. Otherwise, you put it in your hand. So it's going to go to the battlefield. So he's going to have the Soul Tender or the Necromass. Ooh, I don't know if he'll get the Necromass. Yeah, no, he can't. So it's going to be the Soul Tender. Never mind. It's an Urg Spawn of Turk. So, Sewer Crocodile for the win. Can't be blocked. Can block everything. Told you. Bit of a mistake, I think. I'm fine with this. Okay. I find it strange that he spent a card. No, he got the right Necromass out. I could Snooping New Zealand Experimental Escape that thing and kill it. Well, let's just do this. Right? And then we might as well do this. Because we get to draw a card and we get to clean a card. Take it. 2. I guess? Target player mills X. That's not going to help. So, and then this one, just put a target card graveyard from the bottom of your library back in. But we're down to 9, so. come on. Come on. Like, you've had a removal spell for this long that you didn't use. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable with the land. Jesus. How many cards has he got left? 15? Or 14? Is it worth milling him out? It's the never-ending story. This game won't ever end, cause my deck has no offense. The never-ending story. I mean, dude, come on. How hard do you have to think? What is it gonna do? Oh, it died. It's dead. It never got to even do the damage? Like, I don't understand. I just concede. I don't understand. I got no offense in this deck. I got no offense in this deck. Nothing pushes damage. It just sits there. I'm gonna walk away. Like, I really am. This is my 5th game. Every one of them have been the same. They've all been like, oh, you're just dead. Yeah, just one removal spell because you only have one creature that can do damage, so you're dead. Here's one creature that can do... Oh, you're dead. It's dead. Like, if you can't give me anything to do damage with, then what the hell am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do anything in this game? We won't take the free mulligan because we have a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and a 5. We'll start with the slow land. What a shocker, more land. That's the other thing. They give you 17 lands, which mathematically is like giving you 26 lands in a deck. It's just way, way, way too many. Way, 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 way too many. We could have thrown a 1-1 out there and watched it get killed, just the same as a 1-1 out there that watched it get killed, but gives us a card in return. So it makes more sense to do this. Not worried about that. I'm a little worried about that, but we're gonna hold off here for a second because we're gonna draw more land. More land. Like, what could possibly go wrong? This card is worthless unless there are things in the graveyard. All right, now if the Song Shaper wants to attack, I'll feel better. Alright. Kinda looks like this. Stop drawing land. Dude. That was fun. What if I draw land? Is that... Oh, dude. Just give up. I just give up. We're in another defensive strategy that we're just going to sit there for 45 turns while I draw nothing that can hit for more than 2. I am so done. I am so done with this pack. This deck is horrible. Screw you, Wizards of the Coast, for putting together a deck that has no offense in it. And it doesn't have a win con at all because you're just susceptible to one removal spell. Like, screw you. Yeah, come at me. Well, one thing I've learned is that if I do this too late, they don't have any creature cards or things that I can mess around with. So, we'll take the Necrosquito out. And he's got a target creature gets +2 trick. And he's got a knight on turn 4, and we're dead. No, we have something to answer the knight. Okay. Shoo! Yeah, we'll just wait for the cat. Yes. Yeah, we knew that was happening. But I'd rather lose the cat. Hey, what if we draw land? Yeah. Let's maybe get rid of some... Yeah, definitely. Huh. Huh. I think we just keep the escaped experiment. Is he gonna stay that way? Dude. What a card. I'd rather trade the goons. For their obvious removal spell that they obviously have that we obviously don't have. Like, why do they make these decks so bad? So bad. Okay. Jace is the place. Yeah. We're just gonna plus him. Yeah. Persistent Specimen can pass away. That's what it does. Yeah. We know how this works. Does he have a haste? No. He just comes in right before the end of the turn. Okay. Hurt my Jace. You can do it. Gonna need you to hurt the Jace. Alright, so I can attack with the Escaped Experiment on the next turn. I will say this. Jace in limited is much better, but multiple Jaces is the best. Because if you could do that and then you can come back and do it again, it's just kind of neat. So, ah, 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 ah. It was worth. It was worth. It was so not worth it. Each opponent loses 2 life. This ability costs 1 less for each creature in your graveyard. So block and then mana sink, um, for 1 essentially later on kind of deal. Like, okay, okay. Just to remind ourselves, we picked up the Jaces and some retrofitters with some interesting artifacts. I still think the artifact deck is good. I just think that that deck was bad because of the lack of offense. So let's take a look at what a good deck would look like in the artifact mill world kind of deal. We're going to go with standard, just standard on the format. It is black and white that we're looking at here. And we can start with just looking at what rares and uncommons, I'm sorry, rares and mythics that we have that would really fit well. So we have 3 Unctus Meditechs, and we have 2 Jaces, 1 Mind Splice, 1 Tezzeret, which would go very good with the Unctus Meditech. The first activated ability of an artifact you activate costs 2 less to activate. So artifacts that activate they're out there. None of these things are them, although this is kind of cool. I mean, it only takes 1 to crew. It becomes a 4/3 flyer, but it also copies whatever it does. This kind of makes certain cards cheaper. These things are big and scary. And then this is all about artifacts as well. If you can get 3 or more artifacts to enter the battlefield under your control, you get to create a 3/3 golem. So I'll show you what I'm thinking. Don't think that we're in the spell side as much, but is an artifact vehicle. So I'm thinking of a artifact triggered, vehicle driven, and then the flyer as well. I think the Sky Strike Officer is the one, and I may not own any, which would hurt. Let's go with fly. See who's a flyer in here. Yeah, we don't have a Sky Strike Officer, unfortunately. So that puts us in a situation where we're looking at just artifact triggers for the most part, and maybe. So this is a really good artifact trigger. It's a flying artifact, which is awesome. And this is a great flyer, but that's okay. This is also a decent enabler, but we're not dealing with corruption or poison or any of those kinds of things. That's not what we're shooting for. And since we are in 2 colors, the Phyrexian Vindicator is kind of off the table because it's really, really hard to cast otherwise. This is not as hard to cast and is probably worth it to throw in there, as well as this, an artifact creature with flying that causes a tap when it comes in. Just remarkable amount of value for 1 mana. So we've got some good artifact flyers that are available. She could make those flyers much more potent with things like First Strike and +1 counters, and having a 2/2 First Striker that flies is way, way, way more valuable than you think. Give you an idea, that would take out all of these flyers, all except this one. That's the only one. But all these flyers up to the 3 to 4 mana cost all have 2 toughness or less. So we wouldn't have to worry about the crackback because we'd be first striking. Get a sense real quick how that would play out. Let's go to blue. Here's another artifact flying vehicle that only costs 2 mana, and when it becomes crewed, 1 other target vehicle you control becomes an artifact creature until the end of the turn. So that means that another vehicle can become crewed. So I like it in the sense that you're double crewing for 3 and you're getting a 3/4 flyer out of the whole equation. That's really, really good. We're going to stick with it. 3/4 flyer, and whenever a non-token artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay 2, and then you create a token that's a copy of that said artifact. So that could go good with Steel Seraph. That could go good with these mechs when they come in to the play. Um, so we'll hold on to that as an idea. It's not a card I've ever played with before, but it's kind of cool. Okay, let's take the flying piece out now. Let's take a look at the artifact side of the equation, just the artifact sides. So, some good artifact synergy, lifelink, 2-drop, like really pretty solid. Some decent removal on the early side, again, some good defense. Some good offense at the 1-drop position can kind of create some flashback opportunity, which kind of, and that essentially creates card advantage. And then an artifact for Mirrodin creature here that has flying. So I think that I don't hate the wings. This is a vehicle. Whenever the Mysterious Limousine enters or attacks, you get to exile one other target creature until the Mysterious Limousine leaves the battlefield. If a creature is put into exile this way, return each other card exiled with the Limousine onto the battlefield under its owner's control. So cheap to crew, sucks a guy up, but can only suck up one guy at a time. You could suck up your own Steel Seraphs and bounce them back. You could suck up your Combat Thresher to create 3/3 double strikers, which is pretty solid. For 3, I kind of dig that, and it draws a card in replacement. Doesn't I don't hate this because it'll create triggers for this, so I dig that. This one just says for 4 mana you get to create a soldier, so really like 1, 2, and then 3 or something like that. Like a lot of mana though to do. We may not end up loving that. We'll take a look and see. This thing's kind of cool though because it creates 2. It creates 2 artifacts, which is pretty close to making a Malcator happen. So that's not bad. I know that we had retrofitters and other stuff like that. Here is the Cephalopod Sentry. I was looking for that card as a tool. Let's go check out, let's get rid of the artifact side of things and just look at the creature side of things for a second. Because I think that the retrofitter is a hugely important part of what we're trying to do here. And otherwise, these flyers are not that exciting. And in fact, I think I like it like this more. I also think that these platoon dispensers are not likely to pay off. Does mean it's cheaper. Let's go back to that thing for a second here and see. There it is. Platoon dispenser. It does get 2 cheaper, which means it's only 2 mana to make a guy. I changed my mind. If I've got a Tezzeret out there, the platoon dispensers are pretty solid. I don't think the Jace is necessary. It just doesn't fit. And she's a little expensive for the off chance that we are doing that combat-y trick kind of thing. And if we're not, then there's not a lot of reasons for him. We definitely are in need of some removal, and we're definitely in need of some bodies to crew. What's kind of cool about this is it can turn something into an artifact, but it would be after the enter the battlefield effect. I think we can live without these mechs. We just don't have the bodies to crew them on the bottom side of the curve. The Mindlink mech is kind of neat because it's a 4/3 that with essentially life gain, or it's a flying artifact. Like there's just too many good things that it can do. So we are playing a bit of a small ball game here with the idea of using card advantage to have a Malcator out there and throw some scrap work cohorts, along with using the platoon dispenser's ability to, for a total of 6 mana, create a 3/3 and 2/2 1/1s along with the 3/1. So quite a bit going on there, but pretty neat. The Tezzeret needs to also be on the deck for the platoon dispenser to be reasonable cost. It is really sensitive. Kind of want some removal, and I'm considering. He's an artifact. He's an artifact. He's an artifact. He's an artifact. He's an artificer. But that's an artifact, and that's an artifact, and that's not. But the things that he makes are, and then the things that he makes are, and he is an artifact. So, man, we got a lot of artifacts going on here. I wonder if that becomes cheaper too. Ooh, I think it does. Tezzeret's sticking around. But so are the cephalopods. We got a ton of things going on in there. 3.2 average, but more like a 3. Still not enough to say, like not low enough, I should say, to say let's get rid of it. What the heck? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was like, why? Why would you do such things? 2 or more? Soldier? Nope. Gain a life, tapped, tapped, 2 or more. Let's go with a couple gain of lives just to smooth it out a little. Right? And what do we call this one? So we've got like a planeswalker-y, artifact-y kind of push here, and Elspeth and the platoon dispenser are the question marks. This thing seems to be built over this overseer. Overseeing the facts. Where's your removal? That'd be nice if we had enchantments, but we do not. So I think that we're just pausing things with ossification. Yeah. What do you think about that? Key, since we do have a lot of card draw built into this, in a weird way, it's like draw a card, discard a card, draw a card, discard a card. And so part of me was looking at like the connivers, or like the fairy vandals. This guy, when you draw your second card on each turn, you get a +1 counter on him. So it means that each turn he's going up, which is good. The other thing is like you can get some dual spell guys with the Ledger Shredder, but we're not cheap here, and so I'm gonna go with overseeing the facts like that. Let's take a look at the kid situation to see what the sleeping looks like. Okay, so let's try this deck out. We'll go straight in. We are a couple wins away from getting another jump in, so like if we can do that, we'll feel good. Sorry that took so long. I was confused. I had an idea and then it just didn't pan out, but this one has a lot more offense and a lot more artifact synergy with some decent removal. We've got a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and then we've got some good stuff to do at the top end. So I think we'll do gain a life, throw this out, or this out, depending on what we're chasing down. Is this the only new one? Like, yeah. Snark. Well, yeah. I don't have a problem trading with that. Yeah. Let's go. Those guys here, he's a better blocker. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Haha. We throw the platoon dispenser out now. We'll go next to combat. Say no on the attacks. That's a problem. We're gonna have to. No, that's just it. Yeah, that's a huge problem. We needed a removal card. By the time we get it, it won't matter. It just won't matter. Everything gets a +1 every time a creature comes in. He's got trample. He's going to be swinging for 8. Like, he's just going to eat up any creatures that we've got. He's going to go right over the top of them, and until we get that removal piece, there's nothing that we can do. Unfortunately, the solution there, which was like ramping wolves during the first 3, just played into us like so perfect. There was nothing that we had that was doable. Ooh, I don't like this. Okay. Yeah. Never mind. God. I wasn't paying attention. Lone Speaker is just a really good blocker. So the question is, do I let him continue to... Yeah, no, I don't think so. Oh, we'll go with it. Well, and that's the difference between the two games. If you end up with the removal for the Defiler, he's neutered. If you don't, you're in trouble. Removal is like the name of the game in this, unfortunately. Okay. We're going to keep going. One more win, and we can do one more jump in, and one more jump in. Hopefully we can get a win without going to the hilt. And then I think we call it. So good and bad at the same time. Oh my gosh, it happened again. Huh. Need a white mana. We got locked in one direction, then we got locked in the other. Yeah, we're dead. I mean, we'll take a poison. It's not a big deal. But I think we're dead. Take 3 poison. We're 100% dead. Yeah, we're dead. I mean, if they don't give us the white mana to cast our cards, we can't win. So what are you going to do, right? They keep not giving you mana. We're still in testing on this deck, but so far it has seemed kind of fragile, unfortunately. Really relies on removing the threats with removals pieces instead of 2-for-1s or fights or pumps or, board, battle tricks. Like, there are a lot of things you can do. Excuse me, there are a lot of things that you can do that make it a little bit more fun to play, and unfortunately this is all driven off draw, and our draw engines don't really kick in until Unctus until really like turn 4 or 5, because not only do we need it on the deck, we need artifacts on the deck, and then we need artifacts tapping before we kind of clean through the cards and fix our deck. By then we usually are down to 1 or 2 cards, and so we're just like redoing the top deck over and over again, and that's not good. This is going to be a draw. Why would you like hand to him? Yeah, there's not much I can do now. Yeah, our deck sucks. It sucks. It's not going to work. It's too slow, and it puts us up against the most powerful cards in the game. And unfortunately, we just don't have the most powerful cards in the game to deal with. So even when we get the removal, we really need to stay low and to the ground. The more low we go, the better. We need a win. I did make some adjustments to this deck, so let's give it a shot and see if we can't gather in a win. Because I just deleted that thing. Malcator, Unctus, none of them. They just don't have a place in the format right now. If you're not super controlly and playing with the biggest, best cards and trying to cheat them out 1 or 2 turns early, you're going the opposite, and you're doing, you know, I'm trying to kill you before turn 4, otherwise I'm dead, you know, kind of deal. This is pretty horrible, except for this. So we're playing a ramp strat in hopes of getting somewhere close. Like we need one more land for the Besiegers to not be a complete loss. Would have liked to have seen something like the Generous Visitor, but we only have 2. We did pick up a 3rd. Kamiya Transients, we have 2 of those. That would have been good. Shigeki would have been fine. Outland Liberator is only good if we're trying to get rid of a bad theme. I'll take a Gwenna. It's only 3 mana. Uh-oh. Mono red. So Outland Liberator could trade with the 2. I think I just do this trade though, because I'll take their I don't like the idea of them gifting all that stuff over. She can block the 2/2 as well. It's an interesting red deck because of the white and the slow land. So now we're in like a Boros world a little bit. Not exactly the same. Expecting a burn spell. No. He'll get an indestructible counter, but I'm not freaking out about it. Could get rid of this. Right. In hopes of then doing this onto this. And doing this. Getting rid of the indestructible counter. Give out +1. I think that thing just blows up artifacts, right? So since we're not really looking at artifacts here, I would definitely take the 2-for-1 here if it comes my way. So we'll be taking 4, maybe 5. Oh. Okay. Yeah, and unfortunately that means that we can't attack on the next turn. But it doesn't put us in the worst spot. I wouldn't mind being able to throw a body on the deck here. That's an interesting one too. Because it does create the gain 3 life situation, which negates an attack. I think we'll gain the 3 life, unfortunately. We'll say no on the attacks. Yeah, the indestructible will eat up the Gwenna. That's going to happen. We'll get the card draw out of it, and we can throw the new Gwenna down and hopefully draw something else that's a body. Oh, okay, you could do that too. I like that. Kind of dig getting rid of this. Good game. I mean, there's not much I could do about that. It was a good game. I didn't expect the hard shift. God. I don't like 5 mana hands, and I don't, or 3 mana hands. No, that was 4 mana. I don't like 4 mana, and I don't like 2, but I'll take 3, 2, and 4 if there's things to do. And we've got a second thing that we can do on 1, and a 3-drop and a 4. So we just need to keep 1 land. Just 1 land. Puts us at 3, opens up Gwenna. It kind of opens up the door to a lot of good things happening. Generous Visitor should get a decent attack here with the Audacity, giving it a +1 as well as the Audacity giving it +2. So it's going to be swinging for 4. Okay. Still need that mana, though. Never didn't have it, right? Never didn't have it. What happened to this guy? He missed a land drop? He didn't cast anything. He is not okay. Okay. Yeah. One for you. 4 for you. Need a removal spell. Yeah, you can draw a card. Nope. I think he'll destroy the Audacity? I love it. Go, Shigeki. Go, Shigeki. That's fine. Who would be better? Probably just keep these threats kind of pumping all over the place. Just kind of even them up a little. I am fine with losing this Shigeki here, by the way. Swinging for 11. Or 9, I guess. 7, 8, 9. Did something happen? I'm confused. Oh, he gained 2 life. That's what happened. Okay, we'll just do this. And we'll just keep spreading all this around. Right. Now everybody's a lethal threat. Let's go in next. And I think that's game. Juicy. Okay, so glizzards are good. They're only good though, like with fight spells and maybe creatures that give it flying, evasive kinds of techniques. The more evasive, the more they strike. Right. We're over 1,000. We're going back to the events, and we're going to do our third jump in of the day. And let's hope this one works out to be better than the first. No, the second one. The second one was really rough. You want to do it again? So I guess that means humans, right? We talked about it, a bit about it before. They're going to get a decent human card here that's going to help you pump up your board. It's either going to be something that hands out a bunch of 1/1 that can train and also has training, or it's going to be something that allows you to plus up everything on the board with +1s. So either way, it's a go wide strat. We have a go wide deck. It's pretty good. We looked at a bewitching and we just can't do it. The monster manual is what you get here. And then training is the Savior of Olimbark, which is the one that we took in the first strategy. And I actually think that having a few of those cards might suddenly be pretty awesome. He's a removal spell. He's a trainer. He goes up +1s. He allows all kinds of fun tricks. So we'll take this training strategy and see if there's some kind of blue-white training proliferate kind of deck that we can do, depending on what we get. We ended up with the Catilda, which was the one that was the most likely chance for us to grab. And it means human creatures you control have 1 mana. So going wide makes for a mana ramp. We do have 1 removal spell, 1 trainer that gifts off her +1s after she... Nope. Yeah, no, yeah, it gifts off her +1s after she dies. Target creature gets +1, you gain a life. Just kind of a tapper, chump blocker, really. Doesn't do much. Also can sacrifice and hand out 1 +1. Not bad. It's after a block, you sacrifice her. So you block, and then instead of letting it go, you sacrifice it and hand off the +1. This is the best way. A really good flyer. We've seen that get strong. We knew the Savior of Olimbark was coming as well. Also has some training. Clear Shot's another removal spell. All in all, I think we're feeling pretty good. Search Party Captain costs 1 less for each creature you attacked with this turn. When it enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card. So the theory is, if you're drawing this later in the game, it's a 1 mana creature, right? Because you attack with 3 and you're good to go. More +1s. Beefy dude enters the battlefield, put 2 +1 counters on any target creature. Not a dude, beefy girl. But give you an idea of the ballroom brawlers. This is another weird one. When they attack up to 1 other target creature you control, both gain your choice of first strike or lifelink until the end of the turn. So, okay. We're going wide, and we do have some interesting stuff. As long as you put 1 or more +1 counters on a creature this turn, this one has trample and lifelink. Really pretty solid for 3 mana. Target creature you control with a +1 counter on it gains trample and lifelink to the end of the turn. Man, this is really good. I don't want to guarantee a win, but I'm guaranteeing a win. We have a lot of offense. This was the deck that we held off until 6 cards or 4 cards left in the deck, and we just couldn't figure out a way to get over the top. Taking the free mulligan. I regret everything. Ah, this is bad. That's good. I like the clear shot on the next one. Oh, come on! With the burns. Oh, we're not going to win. I can't. There's nothing I can do here. Okay. That was probably the best thing I could have done. Because at least now I'm guaranteeing a trade. What? Since when did the first strike start showing up? I don't think that changes anything, though, does it? Damn! You got werewolfed. How many of these does he get? It's like every hand? It never ends. It never ends. What does that say? There you go. Ah, the menace. The menace, the menace, the menace. Unbelievably. That played out perfect for him. I like that card, though. I like that card. I totally dig. Mm-hmm. I know I'm not talking. I'm sorry. Did it do it again? It did it again? Wait, what? How many removals enchantments does this dude have? That's crazy. I'm fine with that though. We'll put out. What do you think? The trainee? Yeah, I like it. Say next. I'll attack. It's fine. Search party captain gets a lot cheaper. He's not really doing anything right now except for drawing us another card. I think I'll save the 2 mana, throw the 4 mana cost out, attack with 2. Never mind. Is there any way to kill that thing? Not really. We'll lose whatever we attack with. So, what do we do? Gaining flying is not doing us any good. Yeah, I kind of... I'll take the training. I definitely messed that up. Not really, though. Definitely put that on the top of our library. Thank you, Jane. Oh my gosh, just never ends. Never ends. I'm not sure what that's gonna do. Okay, we could blitz him in to drop the 2, get a card in return, and attack. The problem that we've got is that we're not going to beat this thing unless we do it this way. So, we're going here. Dang it, I messed up. I was supposed to throw that one. This is, that was the game, I think. I just messed up. If I throw the flyer and then I blitz in the Caldea Strong Arm, I can survive longer. Unfortunately, what I just did was give him a free 5 health. Taking 5 health from me. Like, everything was bad about that. And now I'm a whole turn behind. Flash, sacrifice it to destroy an artifact or enchantment. That is a yes. That is a thank God. Get the hell out of here, you. Nobody needs you. We're done. For 4 mana, I can flash this in. Get the attack, do the +2s. And I'd rather put that on a flyer, I think, though. Okay. I don't have to flash it on the next turn either. And then the Griff can carry the +2s in, so we'd be swinging for 6. And we might have just found a stabilization. Because I can chump my way to victory, I believe. Yeah, right? Might as well. Yeah. Energy Refractor is not going to change the name of the game, but it does buy him the opportunity. Do that. Okay with that. We throw our next chump blocker out. We go next. We could all attack, but we did it. Whew, that got scary. I'm not gonna lie. Cool. Okay, so how are we doing with that wild and crazy looking aura in red? I felt like that thing was so good. It's crazy for us not to have a copy. 3 Goro Goros. That's another cool one. It gives everything haste. You know, later can turn a, create a 5/5. Not a bad card in the red deck, to be honest with you. But we're gonna just type in enchantment. There it is. Enchanted creature gets +3/+2, has haste and attacks, and then you can pull it from the graveyard, but it loses. So it goes to a 2/1 and then a 1/0 and then a, yeah, it's kind of cool though. I kind of like the cravings of Yanogo. It's better than it looks. Gives out haste every turn that you spend the mana, but it has to be not the mana that you just spent. Interesting. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1, and if you do, it deals X damage to a target player or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines you control. And so the theory here is, in a 5-color deck of shrines, you can constantly hand things out. Otherwise, you're just paying for 1 with your mana. Not great. I've seen this before. Whenever a creature you control power 2 or less attacks, it deals 1 damage to whatever. Whenever you cycle a card, you may have this become a 5/4 dinosaur creature with trample. Attacking creatures you control have first strike. Whenever a vampire you control deals combat damage, put a +1 on it. Uh-oh. They're moving, but they're not grooving. Gain control of a target creature. Creatures you control get +1. Exile a creature. Okay. Alright. I think we're going to call it a day. Kind of a frustrating day. Didn't build anything great in the deck front. We did pick up some good rares. We got a chance to cycle through the extra gold and do all the jump-in packs that we were looking to do. And there's no doubt that if we take a look at our set collections, we're doing pretty good at collecting Phyrexia All Will Be Ones, and we're doing pretty good at getting some of the Brothers Wars and some of the Dominaris in the streets of New Capenna. And man, how is Kamigawa like we've got more Kamigawa cards. Like that's pretty cool. But there you go. That's where we are. Innistrad, Kamigawa, Nuka Pen are all probably on the tail end of their life cycle. So go tier 4. In the ranked side of things, we could do